Hey, love. Welcome to the Shy Love Radio Show, Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium. It's me, Melanie. Before we begin today's segment, let's take 3 deep breaths. We're going to inhale, hold for 3 seconds, and exhale. This breathing exercise is to bring us into the present so that we don't think about what happened before, nor are we thinking about what is to come. 1, 2, 3. So we've been talking about these protesters, the looters, the chaos between Chicago Police Department and the residents. And lo and behold, Chicago is seeing their police retiring at a rapid pace. That's actually not surprising. It's actually not surprising. Although there is such chaos going on, police officers are now starting to be held accountable for their abuse of authority. So if you are one of those police officers who are abusing your authority, who feel like there is an instant target on the backs of people of color, whether that's African American or Latino or Caribbean or whatever, then you should go ahead and retire. Go down there to Florida where y'all be having y'all houses and stuff at. A lot of police officers have like their retirement or vacation homes in Florida, and you should go just chill out and relax. Chill out and relax. So now there are concerns with the retirees because of the number of new hires, and they feel like the new hires won't keep pace with the number of police officers who are leaving. Well, if you train them adequately, it shouldn't be a problem. Now, if they are being trained and being conditioned the same way that you all were, then there will be a problem. So the trend of the police retiring began this summer when CPD officers they started retiring at more than double the normal rate. We had 59 officers who retired in August, and we're supposed to have 51 officers retiring in September. The Fraternal Order of Police said that he noticed the rise right after the unrest and rioting began, and he's surprised it's not higher. They're speculating that a change in health insurance benefits may be a factor. The union president blames Mayor Lori Lightfoot, saying he believes she is underprepared in not offering officers an adequate financial package as they have been working without a contract for 3 years. She is underprepared. Was Rahm Emanuel prepared? Was Daley prepared? Was Obama prepared for what he had to endure when he went into the White House? We cannot expect one person to come in after generations and generations of chaos, decades and decades of build up, and expect one person to come in and just magically make everything better. That is unrealistic. And let's keep it real, like this is Chicago. and we carry a certain vibe here on the good foot and on the low vibrational side. We carry a certain vibe. So, you gotta kind of nestle in and let yourself experience the vibration so that you can know which moves to make. Goodness gracious. If you felt like you had the answers, you should have ran to be the mayor. You better back up off TT. Financial packages. Y'all want to get more money for injustice? Can you say that you all are adequately performing the roles that the residents are under the impression of you all performing? Now, are you putting your life on the line day after day, night after night? Yes. And if you were out here justly as a whole, helping to actually make the city safer, then I would stand with you and say, get them people that money. Based on ideally what you're supposed to do as a police officer, I personally feel like you should get a whole lot of money because that's a lot of risk that you're taking. That's a lot of self-control that you have to exhibit. There should be some perks to that. But you have to be able to truthfully say that you all are adequately doing your job. So he goes on to say that it just goes to show the lack of respect the mayor and these men and women that the mayor has for these men and women. It's all fluff when they say they care, but they really don't. Do you want to know something, John? That statement right there is something that you all have in common with the people. You presented yourselves as good guys. You presented yourselves as people who serve and protect. You presented yourselves as an organization that cares. But it's turning out to look like that's all fluff too. Isn't it ironic how your complaint is the same complaint that the people have against you all? So how does that make you feel? What changes are you willing to make to the people on behalf of the people to let us know that you really care? We here at the Shy Love Radio Show, Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium are not anti-police, but we are anti-police bullshit. So while you're thinking about how that made you feel, how that makes your officers feel, to feel like nobody really got their back, to feel like the people who's supposed to care about them really don't care about them. Based on that alone, what are you willing to do to make sure that nobody can continue to point the finger at y'all to say that y'all doing the same thing? Let that ponder. Ponder on that and see what you come up with. You can do an effective job, even in law enforcement, and still maintain the vibration of your heart towards people, and you can still be effective. So a spokesperson with the mayor's office said, while the mayor will continue to support the men and women of CPD, we will not entertain uninformed comments And furthermore, we are not going to participate in a race to the bottom. So Tisa says she's not going down with the ship. It's not Titanic. Due to the gaps between the retirees and the new hires, a shortage of officers is predicted by the end of the year. The police union head doesn't blame their members for retiring. He said it's not worth the attacks physically, the exhaustion mentally, and just the lack of appreciation as a whole for the profession. You know how you would get more appreciation as a whole for the profession if you were actually out here de-escalating situations? If we could not pinpoint Chiracians who would truthfully speak and say that somebody within CPD tipped them off that the ops was on whatever with them. If we could have some people from Chirac not say that some of CPD is on their payroll, that some of CPD is taking out some of the ops, that innocent people could say that they were innocent or were given due process and were treated respectfully, and didn't have their civil liberties restricted. The respect of how you engage with a person, regardless of what side of town they live on, or what culture they're representing, or the color of their skin. How awesome would that be to have people actually having camera footage of you all actually doing what you said you was gonna do and being who you said that you would be to us? I still remember little Officer Friendly. Had a great hope in the justice system. My 7-year-old daughter says she wants to be a doctor and a police officer. I asked her why. She said, because they help people, mama, they save people. So you got the 7-year-olds out here who believe me. What type of representation are you really trying to put out here to society? You cannot expect people to continue taking abuse and being neglected and think that people are going to give you loyalty or appreciation. And it shouldn't just be going towards the people with the money or the status. Some of the lowest of the lows should still be able to stand and testify on your behalf as far as how you handle the situation. So I want you to ponder on that, love. Evaluate yourself. Evaluate the organization that you lead. And see if there are any bugs that you all need to get out of the system. And it's okay. You made some mistakes. You made some wrong decisions, misled, misguided, I don't know, whatever the justification may be. But we're at this point now. And what you can do is be honest with yourself, be honest with each other, and consciously decide to make certain changes so that the people will experience the changes that you made. It's really not a hard situation when it's coming down to how people are being treated. You see, this whole interview that you did was according to how you feel like you and your fraternal order of police are being treated. It's the same thing that the people are talking about. Funny how people can be on two opposite sides but still have so much in common, huh? So, child, these type of conversations and situations really put an alert out for an elevation in your health and wellness, okay? During these times, your health and wellness is very important. So today's health and wellness section, we are telling you to go on and treat yourself. Treat yourself to something that is going to take you to your happy place, even if it's on a mental level, emotional level, financial level, spiritual level, take physical level, take yourself to your happy place. Treat yourself just for the fact that you are still existing and didn't cut your own throat to detach yourself from the nonsense of the world. Treat yourself for every step that you make towards your goals. Treat yourself for not returning back to that former you, even in the face of a trigger. Treat yourself. A new study shows that pursuing short-term pleasures is important for our well-being. The coronavirus pandemic has drastically reduced the number of exciting moments in a day-to-day. For example, you may get up every day and Starbucks may be your spot. And you go, you can start your day without your favorite latte, your favorite coffee, or after work, you and some partners get together and go to a certain tavern, lounge to just shake it off. So, we having these restrictions with the numbers going up, with people's health and well-being on the line. And we've all experienced dramatic change this year. But just because you can't go to your usual spot doesn't mean that you can't find other things to still put yourself on that high vibrational level. Treating yourself during these times, even through internet shopping, is important for the well-being. And treating yourself to the occasional gift is a popular way to practice a bit of self-care. And it is a good distraction. Sometimes you just have to turn your head from the chaos. Sometimes you just have to distance yourself from the chaos. I'm not saying to go and bury your head down in a hole to where you're just oblivious to what is going on in the world. Keep your awareness, but engage in certain things that is going to just take your mind off COVID, off CPD, off the Chiracians, off of financial issues. Engage in something, treat yourself in something that is going to help you bring a balance to your energy, to yourself. Now, some people, especially mothers, think that buying things for ourselves is self-centered or indulgent. Mommies have a huge issue with that, with the guilt of doing something for yourself, even though the children can have everything that they need, what they want, just the fact that you took some of the money and purchased something for yourself that was just for you. You know, sometimes there's a guilt. And I'm telling you today, remove that guilt. I'm talking to the mothers who find a way or make a way to make it work and to get the job done. I'm talking to the mothers who learn their children enough to attest to their needs, attest to their desires. An active parent. That's what I'm talking to, the active parent. Parenting is a lot of work. It's worthwhile, but it's a lot of work. So the happier the parent is, the happier the household will be. Do a little exercise for yourself. Give yourself a 90-day period and start to put yourself on the schedule. Take yourself from off the table and put it on the stove with the rest of the pot. Start to do stuff that you need for yourself. And pay attention and see your environment start to change, because mama's energy started to elevate and become higher and become happier. That type of energy is going to impact the household. Because yes, you're a mother, you're a sister, you're a employer, you're an employee, student, whatever your position is. You have to understand that before you gained any of those titles, you were self. So self needs a certain amount of attention in order to continue to thrive. A lot of parents have become robotic in parenting, and they have conditioned themselves to get the job done, get the job done. They're getting the job done. But are you happy? Are you content? Even if you're not at the level that you desire, based on where you are now and where you have come from. Are you content? Are you at peace? Knowing that this here is just a stepping stone? Or are you allowing your environment and circumstances to put you into a depression or increase your anxiety? And yeah, you're paying the bills, you're taking care of the house, kids have what they need, the kids have what they want, but you as a person, you as self, is unhappy. A lot of mothers, a lot of women will pour out themselves to everybody around them, but not give it to self. And self needs that, okay? From mother to mother, I love you. Mother to mother, I understand. But start to put yourself on a schedule. Something that is just for you. And start to see how you start to respond in stressful situations. The more you start to get a little more happiness and joyfulness and contentment and inner peace within yourself, even when things are going awry and chaos is erupting, you'll find that you're not even responding to it in the lower vibrational way that you did when you were deeper into your depression or anxiety. It's okay to make yourself feel good, Mom. You deserve it. Even dad, active dads who are in their children's life on a good note, you deserve it. Self-love. So we often think that pursuing long-term goals, for example, furthering our career or buying a home, are the key to living a happy and fulfilled life. And it's part of the key because it's giving you something to aspire to, something to work toward, something to be proud of, something to start to develop a legacy with. But new research has shown that short-term pleasures could be just as important for our well-being. Because let's just say that, you know, your long-term goal is to buy a house. Long term. There are steps that have to be taken for you to get into alignment to purchase the house. And depending on where you are with it, that may take a minute. So are you to stay depressed the whole time you're taking these steps to get to your house, and the only time you'll see this joy is when you get this house? Congratulate yourself on the short-term steps, the steps that you took, each step that you take that is putting you in alignment to getting this house. Reward yourself. Because sometimes you become discouraged, you're taking steps, but it seems like nothing is moving, seems like taking too long, that you don't even realize that at one point you was nowhere near the lane. But because of the steps that you started to take, now you're a step closer, 2 steps closer, 3 steps closer to making this dream come true. And you should be proud of yourself. And I am proud of you. Because you could have chosen to be on a destructive path and be in a place where you just spread in misery. So those steps that you are taking to recondition yourself, to heal yourself, to manifest those goals, reward yourself. So this study is published in the Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin. And it found that a greater ability to pursue short-term pleasures. Now, I'm not talking about hedonism. A person that lives a lifestyle of hedonism, everything gets pleasure, 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 everything, 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 everything. Like, they don't make a move unless it's something that is going to bring them some type of pleasure. They don't care who they're hurting. It's a selfishness with that hedonism. What I'm talking about is still taking care of your business, being aware of your environment around you, but making sure that you're part of the business that you're taking care of and being aware of. Just incorporating self, not being so selfish that you're blocking out everybody else. Because it's all about you. I'm not talking about that. So, a greater ability to pursue short-term pleasures was positively related to well-being and life satisfaction. While having good self-control was positively associated with happiness. Good self-control is positively associated with happiness. Being able to indulge in life's little pleasures without berating ourselves for doing so is just as important. The short term is just as important as the long term. Step by step, day by day. I think that wasn't the lyrics off Full House. But anyway, so yes, find ways to make yourself happy. Find ways to elevate your vibration. make the necessary changes that you need to make to put yourself in position to where you can actually start to enjoy yourself, to where you can actually start to feel some type of inner peace. And you will start to see changes. You will start to see changes within yourself, within some of your environment. Sometimes you have to change your environment. Sometimes you have to change the people that you were sharing your energy with. Sometimes just shutting down and letting it be you and Mama Daddy God, you and the universe, you and, you know, your ancestors, whoever. Sometimes you need to shut down the energy of the world to reconnect with yourself. I don't know if y'all hear my background, this music playing as the cars going by. Play some music, regardless of what type of music you like, stuff that just make you feel good, stuff that puts you on a level to where you can start to make better decisions, and not decisions based on fear, decisions based on trauma, decisions based on depression. Balance out your energies so that you can start to see another way. And know that, one, you have gotten through things before. You have gotten through dire situations before. And this pandemic and the things that are happening out here in this world, you will get through it again. But instead of trying to just carry all of that weight and keep it bottled up, find positive outlets that will help you transmute that energy and leave you feeling a little more at peace. OMG. What a year. So to the police officers, you know, you're feeling like you're at the point where you need to retire. You know, do what you have to do. If that is your short-term pleasure, well, that can be a short-term leading to a long-term pleasure, because once you're retired, then you just don't have to deal with this, period. But, oh my, that'd be crazy, you know, to come into contact with some of your own people. Do you all have to, like, keep a badge on, or, like, keep some type of notification to let other police officers know, like, I was one of y'all? So don't do me like y'all doing the rest of the residents. So hopefully as you're retired and you're driving around in your regular car, you know, you won't become the victim of police brutality. But in the meantime, in between time, find yourself something, some type of short-term pleasure. You have to transmute this little energy. So while we're talking about transmuting the energy, and you go back, and you calm down, and then you come back out into the world, and you say, they still at it. What they talking about now? Now we got journalists slamming who? Nobody but TT for having police keep protesters off her block. So you're like, here they go again. What's going on now? So as we said, the protesters, the Black Lives Matters, you know, they really took a stand, and they are standing on it. You know, and when a person don't feel like that you are hearing them correctly, they feel like you don't hear them effectively to where you are willing to make certain changes. Now people bring stuff to your doorstep because they like, we was out in the street, you ain't hear us, so we finna come to your house now. Yeah, I'm not sure about how y'all move in other states, but Chicago is an avid believer of the pull-up. Chicagoans will pull up and confront the situation at your house. And I'm gonna tell you, that's very dangerous actually. That's very dangerous to go to somebody's house because do you not realize that because you went to their house, the law was like on their side because you had no business. You sought them out. You came over with the intent to their private residence. You didn't catch them in traffic. You went to their house. So now technically, you catch them trying to go into the house and run up, and you end up getting hurt or end up getting killed. That's self-defense. So be careful when you pull up, okay? Be careful. Y'all don't want somebody to lose it for a second and douse out a whole bunch of lighter fluid and then just set everybody on fire because you chose to come to somebody's house. Watch the manner of rudeness. I know there's certain things I've been done because they're saying, okay, we were speaking softly, we were speaking politically correct. We left out our hip hop language to speak your language and try to get across to you how this behavior is affecting us as a people. We signed petitions. We got out there and protest in the street. We started to whoop on your officers some. Now we at your house. If you notice, it be like the escalation steps. But nevertheless, she ain't trying to hear that. She is not trying to hear that. So they said that, and I will say this, she has been vocal about saying that she understands why the people are responding like they are responding. She has been vocal in saying that yes, there has been some madness going on, and there will be reform. But according to the people, it's not happening fast enough or in the way that they feel like it should be happening. The mantra for 2020 is enough is enough, and people are going to extreme measures to get their point across. So, TT Mayor Lightfoot is being called hypocritical by allowing CPD to prevent protesters from demonstrating on the block where she lives. So this journalist, he said that he understands that she is scared. Not only that, as a possibility, but the other areas where people were protesting, they were protesting at businesses, not people's personal space, their living quarters. I don't know if y'all are followers of Lamont McCord, but when Rahm Emanuel was in office, that was the first time I had ever seen activists at the mayor's house. And I mean, he stayed out there all night. People pulled up with him. They was chilling. He on this little bike, he going around the back to make sure Rahm not trying to slide out the back. It was definitely a sight to see. I mean, it was dark outside, and this man was laughing. still outside this man's house. OMG. And then, you all have to understand as well, she's a married woman. She has her own family. There's a little daughter in the house. Yes, that baby can understand that the people are upset about the injustice with the police and everything, but the type of energy that the protesters and stuff bring out there, you know, that's not good for a kid's energy. She's scared. They out there, talking crazy, shouting stuff or whatever about her mom. She's mayor to us or TT to us. It's her mom. Her wife. You scaring people, family members, her neighbors. That's just not a good look. It's just not a good look. But then it's like at the same time, something must be done about this. Something must be done about the injustice. So the journalist was saying that she has a responsibility to us to explain the nature of these threats, where she is saying that she is scared. I don't know. I think you could be a little more involved in other aspects, of the city and getting things together versus thinking that. I don't understand why when somebody becomes a public figure, it's as though they no longer have their own personal life. Do they not deserve a certain level of privacy? But nevertheless, so he's saying that she needs to explain the nature of the threat. He also said that he called his people in CPD. So he got his own little set of snitches within an organization who told him that Mayor Lightfoot has cops in her home as well as outside the perimeter. And a journalist is saying that she is pulling cops from their district so everyone else gets less. So in a way, that's why he's saying that it's hypocritical. So I don't know exactly how many police officers are on detail as far as protecting her house or inside of her house, or what neighborhood that she is in. Maybe she's in a neighborhood where some of the more police officers could be pulled, because the level of violence is not as high as it is, like in say Inglewood or Chatham or South, some of these other areas, Austin or whatever. So, we really have bigger things to be worrying about here. And as a matter of fact, try not to even worry. Try to see how you can play a part in helping to improve things as an individual. How about that? Let's try not to worry. Let's just try to find our spot in society and see how we can be productive citizens, see how we can be a part of the solution. So know that we love you here at the Shy Love Radio Show, Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium. And we will see you soon.